Our physical, mental, and emotional bodies become aware and alert as divine sacred frequencies and light codes begin to flow in, creating a space within our electromagnetic field of balance and peace. We become aware of the sacred in-breath and out-breath, aligning ourselves with the divine in-breath and out-breath, the continual cycle that goes eternally and into infinity. And we remind ourselves that we are part of that, and how sacred and holy each and every sacred in-breath and out-breath is. For we remember that we breathe the breath of the divine, that the divine breathes in us and around us. And as we bring this thought into our awareness, automatically the breath is constructed and aligned with the highest frequency of the life force that moves in and through us, effortlessly enhanced and expanded by our very consciousness, our very thought of the sacredness of the breath. Automatically, the perfect rhythm of our breath settles in, as does the physical, mental, and emotional bodies begin to find the centeredness, its perfect balance, and its anchored peace. Each and every sacred in-breath and out-breath begins to flow in a perfect rhythm, a perfect tenor to the higher frequency codes that begin to flow in from the ascended realms of light. Indeed, from the higher Azaloth worlds, from the great crystalline worlds, the Shambhala worlds, the worlds of paradise. And in this great entanglement of all that there is, we come into our sacred center and expand energetically, easily, and effortlessly beyond the physical body that contains just an aspect of who we truly are, beyond the emotional body, beyond the mental. And as great two pillars of light, we are anchored and centered in this deepness of holding sacred space, even in the three-dimensional physical world. As we expand our awareness, consciousness, and the electromagnetic field as a great brilliant star that attracts all those to its radiance. And so we breathe the sacred in-breath and the out-breath. And as we do, we become aware of the continued radiance and the higher frequency flowing in, creating a sacred antakarana, the middle tube of our higher self, connected to source, connected to the ascended realms that pours in through the higher chakra systems and crystalline matrices of creation, of the higher world, now flowing in more radiantly, more specifically, anchoring deep into the lower chakra systems, reaching our 8th, 7th, 6th, 5th, fourth, third, second, first chakra systems that now impact the energetic field and the movement of the chakra system within the physical body. And as such, the higher template of this energetic begins to move in through and around the chakra system of the physical biology, aligning, adjusting, balancing the chakra system of each individual here, the chakra system flowing and connected to the entanglement of the grand chakra system of the ascended worlds of light from the absolute worlds. The higher template, the energetics, the perfection of what that is, orchestrated, created in the higher worlds, now in a great resonant field, as we raise the vibration, as each and every sacred in-breath and out-breath brings forth this divine life force from the highest source, moving in and through the divine matrices, crystalline frequencies, coming into the great Antakarana that connects us in the highest consciousness into the physical body, mental and emotional, clearing debris, purifying, adjusting as it begins to radiate higher frequencies of the ascended worlds of light within our conscious awareness, moving in and through, aligning the chakra system of the physical body, moving throughout the physical body into the other minor chakra systems. Intention purposeful to bring within the physical, mental, and emotional bodies the higher balance and peace, anchoring into the very consciousness of cells, moving into the atomic and subatomic levels, bringing in profound balance and a transcendent peace of the Azi Shalom moves in now through the Antakarana, the sacred tube of radiant light, moving in through that tube, moving into the chakras of our physical body, clearing debris, reorganizing, balancing, healing, purifying. We breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath, allowing all concerns of a physical world that seems so far, far, far away. We choose to be in this sacred holy moment as this grace continues to flow in, through, and around. With each and every sacred in-breath and out-breath, we become aware on multiple levels of the frequency change taking place in our physical body, in our mental body, and in our emotional body. We feel the divine radiance of peace and perfect balance moving through our nervous system. We can feel and sense the attunement of the nerves, aligning, adjusting, into the higher frequencies of light, moving in and through as it moves into the circulatory system, activating the crystalline matrices within the blood as it is pumped through the sacred heart. And in the physical heart, we can see the emanation of a pink, bright energy now anchoring in. We clearly see this pink now becoming many shades of that color. Shades that are multiple, too many to even be aware to count. As this higher energetics coming from the ascended worlds of light brings in its own frequency color, bringing in now a great and holy sacred harmonic of the beating heart that begins to move these colors of pink. The higher heart of compassion and unconditional love, aligning with the sacred hearts of radiant ones who are present here. The higher heart of compassion and unconditional love begins to be amplified in a remembering of the sacred heart that has brought each and every one here to this planetary sphere. It is the higher heart of compassion and unconditional love in the ascended realms of light of which you are a part, symbolized by the sacred heart, the compassionate heart. And in that frequency ray emanates now a pink color that is boundless in its energetics and expressions. And so we simply breathe the sacred in-breath and out-breath and realize it is imbued with this frequency grace pouring in that heals all things, purifies all things, and brings in the perfect balance on multiple levels of your experience and expression, that brings in the higher peace and the grace of that peace, transcendent to anything in the physical, mental, and emotional world. And so we know to continue to breathe the sacredness of this moment as it circulates and moves and expands and can no longer be contained within our field, but expands beyond that. And as we are connected as one collective singularity, bounded in this moment in these words by hearts and minds together, we move this love as we integrate it more deeply within ourselves, as it literally circulates through our physical body, as it expands into the waters of our emotional body, and as it moves into the higher mind of our mind, of the divine mind, being anchored from the higher celestial realms of light, we remain to be the containers as we hold these frequencies within us, around us. And as we allow it to move, circulate, and be in, through, and around us, as we hold our sacred holy positions, As each and every in-breath and out-breath is a prayer, we know it cannot be contained, and as we merge in this ever-expanded radiant ray of pink, in all of its hues and its all of its codes, it emanates now as a divine singularity and moves out into the world in all directions. As it moves deep into our feet and beyond into the depths of the center of the sacred earth. As it explodes the frequency of unconditional love, integrating, activating, balancing, healing, moving in all directions within the core, within the very crevices of the sacred earth, moving into the mineral kingdom, remembering in the programming of unconditional love, the highest frequency moving in from the celestial realms of light. Our intention and holding the sacred container moves into the crystalline mineral kingdom, holding the frequency of unconditional love in the highest frequency, healing, balancing, and bringing peace from the past, the present, and the future. From all of the timelines, experiences of this planetary sphere. For indeed it is the crystal kingdom that holds the great memory, that holds the frequency and the history. It holds the potentials. And so we put our intention, attention into the mineral kingdom that is dispersed throughout the sacred earth. That we bring in the higher codes of the pink ray of unconditional love, to bring forth a healing in any inharmonic that may exist from the past, from the present, and potential futures. That the great Eden tree that has wrapped its roots deep within the crystalline matrix now comes back alive, radiant, the original Genesis, the original Eden tree. In the symbiotic relationship with the mineral kingdom, and to all of the kingdoms held together by the Eden tree, the plant, the animal, and indeed, beloveds, the human kingdom. And so we hold our focus on the mineral kingdom as the Eden tree wraps its frequency in and through each rock and crevice, bringing in the Ancient of Days, the original thought form, the original perfection and balance, the original intention. And we see the brilliance of the pink ray radiating through the entire mineral kingdom as it too heals and clears and purifies and balances once again. And we follow its sacred roots of the Eden tree, moving into the plant kingdom. The original purity and the great Genesis. The terraforming of such perfection and balance. Bringing back that thought form that memory, holding that vision for the plant kingdom in its symbiotic relationship of perfection, healing, balancing once again. And we take the roots of that Eden tree, holding the memory of the original Genesis, creating a new tree of life, moving into the animal kingdom, and bringing forth its balance and peace and higher evolution, bringing once again the symbiotic relationships of all of the kingdoms upon the sacred earth, holding this sacred energy. And we see the radiance of the pink ray, the higher compassion, the higher love that heals and balances, brings forth the perfect balance and the anchored peace. And we move it now into the human kingdom. And as we hold this into the human kingdom, we can see all the other kingdoms integrated and now moving into the human kingdom. And it moves in and through all aspects, moving into the chakra system, activating and aligning once again with a higher aeon of the divine human, the original thought form, the original creation, the original intention, aligning once again with the higher realms of Zion, with the divine Adam Kadmon, bringing forth that idyllic blueprint once again that is balanced, that anchors deep peace, and is connected to the divine. We see the pink ray radiating throughout all humanity, bringing back into the alignment once again the re-remembering of the original thought, the original creation, the original intention. And through the energy and the radiance of unconditional love represented in the pink ray, it now moves beyond the sacred earth, for it is something that cannot be contained, for its source comes from the source of love. And as we can begin to feel the higher heart within our own heart, as it beats and moves and puts the codes into the own crystalline matrix within our own blood, as it moves into our own bones and our own bone marrow that holds the DNA, that holds the cosmic memory of the Ancient of Days. As we begin to hold this higher frequency, activating within ourselves, moving it outwards, inwards, in all directions through the pink ray, in all of its hues and all of its expressions and all of its codes, it moves beyond the earth. It moves into the celestial bodies that move and evolve around the great son of Helios as the sacred earth. It moves in the past, the present, and the future, in all timelines and in all ways. It seeks to heal and to balance and to bring back the higher thought form, the original intention, the original creation. Hold your positions. Just allow this sacred energy and grace to continue to flow through you, upon you, and around you as it radiates out in all directions, limitlessly. And as we experience this perfect peace, this perfect balance, as we are humbled and grateful to serve, we acknowledge all the radiant ones who are here. And we understand that it is now time for the return, for there is much to do. And as such, all the great radiant ones begin to draw in their electromagnetic field as we know to draw in ours, becoming more grounded and aware of our intention to be back fully and anchored into our physical, mental, and emotional bodies. Understanding that the pink ray still circulates and moves through us in a manageable way for us to be able to do our regular activities. Know that it will continue during dream time. You will serve as great containers for this holy and sacred work. We will prepare ourselves that on the count of 3, we will be back awake and very alert. 1, 2, take a deep breath in, and 3, we are back, awake, alert, and we are grounded.